This is so critical. We were just talking about the importance of semiconductor manufacturing, and at least there's a solution, right? You can actually make them in the U.S. But what about rare earths? Is it possible to have a scalable business that manufactures rare earth magnets in the U.S., or is it just too dirty?
Oh, hi, Matt. Great to be with you. No, we have plenty of rare earth. The question is when, not if. It takes a long time to get to a point where you're harvesting and you're refining. We've learned that with some simple critical minerals like lithium and some others for the auto industry. So I'm firmly in the camp of, hey, if you want to do it, you can lift it and refine it, but it will take some time to get that infrastructure in place. And really, that's been one of the bottlenecks for EVs in general, which is, you've got a very complicated industry. It's making a transition. It takes a substantial amount of time to do that.
So this is another area where the Trump administration is buying into private industry to help push it along. MP Materials is one company in which they've taken a stake to do that. Do you believe we need a real government push in order to be refining rare earths here?
Well, if you think about public finance theory, and I just want to put this on the table, if you think you have a market failure or you got a negative externality, it's very simple. There's a role for government intervention, but we got to stick to those principles. And if, in the case of these things where, we have a public good, which is our climate, it's a public good. We consume it. Everybody does every day. And if you think that that public good has to be protected, then there is a role for government policy. And I just stick to that framework and those principles. And I think those are important tests for understanding where we need public policy and where we don't need public policy.
So we've seen, Ellen, Ford has to pause production at some of its factories over the past few months because they can't get a hold of enough rare earths, enough magnets to make the vehicles that they need to. I'm sure other U.S. manufacturers have had, if not pauses, similar problems and frustrations. How long until you think we can get the U.S. refining infrastructure up to speed so that we no longer have issues like that? Are we talking just a matter of years or decades?
Matt, I really think it's going to be in a 5 to 10 year time frame. I mean, it really takes that long. We had a great acceleration in the transition to EVs that started after 2010. It grew exponentially toward the back half of that decade. And we're now at about a 10% market share. This has been a, month in, month out, gradual increase, even though July EV sales were surging, obviously, as customers wanted to take advantage of the tax credits before they end next month, the end of next month. It will continue to gravitate higher, but without the IRA tax credits, this is going to slow it down. And, it doesn't seem like, from a competition standpoint, and like you were just talking about, like get sourcing domestic for a lot of reasons, not just the climate, but national security. We got to move in that direction. So let's make sure we got the incentive structure right.